I didn't even, it's definitely no roast room on whatever the fuck he was saying. I don't even
Well,
know.
let's find out. Are there any incels in the
Kind
audience?
of room this is, then Congress got to shut the entire fuck up and listen so he can figure out. Harry, it's all
I was right.
And psychopaths.
Looks like I was right. Do we have any other incels in the audience that want to come up and get roasted?
I'm sorry, Jumbo, were we in here roasting you?
Oh no, that was not happening.
Sorry for trying to frame your room. I just thought that's what you was doing. Because I'm looking at the title of the room.
Come back when your mic is fixed. Alright, Gary, incels are like.
No, I wanted to say that because he was talking about that women don't sleep with like all the players on the basketball team or all the men in like a social group or whatever. That's false. I've seen many women sleep with like 3-4 guys that are all like in
The joint. The
star.
Okay, can I ask Harry a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so would you consider that woman who sleeps with the whole basketball team to be the majority of?
I mean, I've seen my fair share. That's what I'm saying.
No,
like I've seen my fair share of it. So I'm not going to say it's the majority, but
right.
It's definitely.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
Yeah, that's an introductory to the toilet of the heavens and earth.
And then the earth was formless. Well, I mean, why would it become sense if we made it from the? Well, if we made the earth into form, what does it mean empty?
Well, empty. I don't know what translation you use. It usually says void.
I'm using New International Version. What is your translation?
I mean, empty is not. Like, it's not like I don't know. It's usually like void or something. I don't think it has the exact like meaning of like what we think of as empty as much as like
Now we have you in person.
I'm graduating.
Oh, yeah, I love it. Now you flew all the way in from Georgia, where you served 11 years in the House of Representatives. In what capacity was that?
So I was a state representative for 4 years, and then I decided to be in charge of the whole thing for our caucus. So I became Democratic leader in 2010, right after we lost everything, and tried to work to make Georgia a more meaningful state in terms of democratic and politics and democracy.
Yeah.
Why is Amazon paying me $6?
Well, just in terms of minority leader, what were your duties? What was there?
So they told me to give you leaders to make you feel good. They put minority in front of it so you don't forget.
Okay.
The limits of your powers, and my job was to organize Democrats in the Georgia House of Representatives. And my job was to help move their legislation, to explain to them why they weren't going to get the legislation, to convince the speaker to let us move things. And a lot of it was blocking and tackling. It was, the way I said it, my job was to stop stupid or at least slow it down.
Okay. Well, stop stupid or slow it down brings me to my next question. Over the weekend, you went viral for laying out 10 steps to autocracy. Run us through those steps so we all know.
Okay, so this happens in every nation that has become an autocracy, having been a democracy. So whether we're talking about Brazil with Bolsonaro, or India, or Putin and Russia, the Philippines with Duterte. So start with winning an election. Usually the last one you're going to get to have, for real. Number two, you have an expansion of executive power. The president decides he wants more than he's supposed to have. Number three, you start to make the Congress complicit, so you weaken them and you neutralize or neuter the judiciary. Like, the Supreme Court is giving you unfettered power and saying we don't have the ability to stop things. Then you move on to firing all the people who know how to make government work. So you've got the civil service. And you do that because you want to break democracy so people forget the stuff that used to get done, so you can't get your Social Security check. So the CDC doesn't know what diseases are anymore. Then you put in place these loyalists, people who are only responsive to you. You put them in charge of the FBI so they go after your enemies. You put them in charge of the Department of Justice, the Department of Defense, so they can signal to their friends and tell them all about the evil plans that you have. Then you make certain that you break how we communicate. So you criticize the media and you create your own echo chamber of propaganda. You call it truth even though you know you're lying. Then you go to the next step, and I call that step 7. So at step 7, you have to blame someone. You have to blame people for the broken government, for the broken promises. So you go after DEI. You go after the vulnerable, the dispossessed. You go after any community that doesn't look like what you think power should be. While you're doing that, you make certain that you, in step 8, you eliminate anybody who can help them. So you sue law firms that do pro bono cases. You go after philanthropies and accuse them of giving money to the wrong people. You go after colleges and universities that can teach people possibly what else they should know. You get to step 9 and you start to encourage and incentivize private violence. You send the U.S. Marines into spaces they should not be. You send the National Guard in. You kidnap people off of the streets and pretend that's normal. Because that's how you quiet dissent. Because you make everyone afraid that if they don't do what you want, they might be next. And once you've done those 9 steps, step 10 is easy. That's when you decide there won't be new elections. Because everyone's either afraid, poor, broken, or complicit.
Okay.
Why did Amazon send me $20,000?
Okay. Wow. Well, while you have the ear of the people right now and on their television sets, what is it that they can do to help avoid this and make a change in this?
Thank you. So I want to give credit to Kim Sheppel, who is a professor at Princeton. She came up with a framework. I've adapted it and essentially editorialized it more than she did. But I also want to give credit to the Robert F. Kennedy Foundation, not the lesser successor, but the real guy. We can fight back. We can remember that we do have power. They don't want dissent, so protest. They want us to forget that before we had power, we had each other. So when they break democracy, when they break the Social Security system, when they slash SNAP benefits and Medicaid, make sure you're checking on your neighbors. Make sure we're using mutual aid, but also tell the truth. Do not let the propaganda win. Too often they tell a lie. They will tell a lie so often it sounds like the truth.
The
You say the truth one
we have
time,
seen
and when
with the
people
Trump
don't apply, you stop
administration's
talking.
handling of
They
the
try to
Epstein
keep
case so
telling the truth, not
far,
only to
so I feel like I'm
push
doing
back
the right
against them,
look.
but to remind us that we are
I'll do it
entitled
anyways,
to
but I haven't
We
done
have
it
to
anyways,
believe that
but
freedom
that's
of assembly
that's
means it's more
reassuring
than just going
actually.
to protest. It's the ability to be friends with people who aren't like you. And we have to stop believing that we are in this alone. The most effective thing they do is isolate us. They convince us that you and I don't have any common cause, and we certainly don't have common cause with someone who has a different history than we do. When we hold to our truth, when we actually believe in ourselves and our people, when we believe in democracy as something that must deliver, that's when we start to fight back. And that's when they lose, because they win when we are too numb or too afraid to act.
All right. I'd like for you to talk about how difficult it is for a person of color to be in politics, in particular a black woman. You know, the barriers that and the things that you face.
Well, you have a chair, not a couch. So, look, if you go back to step 7, you go after those communities that are the most likely to push back against you.
Yes.
Black women, immigrants, the LGBTQ plus community. The fact that transgender children are being blamed for the demise of society is intentional. The fact that we forget that if you are truly a Christian, the Bible tells us to take care of the poor and the needy and the stranger, not to round them up and kidnap them.
Right.
And so as a woman of color, as a black woman in particular, I have the affirmative responsibility to speak up on behalf of everyone else, because they're coming for me first and they're coming for me next. Our responsibility then is to use every tool at our disposal, including politics. But politics isn't just about gets elected. It's what we do the next day. It's when we remind people what government should be doing. What just happened in Texas. The fact that they slashed the National Weather Service, whether or not that was the direct proximate cause of those deaths, the fact that we're having that conversation is the issue. The fact that we aren't sure is the problem. And so we need to hold to what we deserve. We should not be dissuaded, especially as Black women, as women of color, as people of color. We should not be convinced that we don't have power. They are mad at us for a reason. There are enough of us that we can change the outcome of elections, but also change the outcome of power.
Why did Amazon send me 20?
I want to lighten it up just a little bit, Stacey.
And
You know, we've worked together.
we have.
Even though you were animated on our television show Blackish, which you were nominated for an Emmy for our show. Let's talk about that. How was that for you?
It was amazing, but we actually have not met multiple times because you also gave me an NAACP award.
Really, did I?
Yeah, during COVID. I couldn't be there and you couldn't be there, but
Okay.
you've been nice to me many times.
Yes. And I will continue to be nice to you. Yes.
I'll tell you one other thing.
Yes.
So I know you talked about your stalker earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I have known you since you first appeared as a detective on Law & Order SVU.
Oh, wow.
And I watched when they migrated you
Yes.
to Law & Order, and then I appreciated the fact that you were both Cyrus Lupo and you brought in Jeffrey Donovan, who I loved on Burn Notice. So I'm not a direct stalker, I'm a stalker adjacent.
Yes, you are, because he's right there. He's right there.
And of course, love Blackish, because I love telling stories. I love the way you tell stories as an actor, and I love telling stories as a writer.
Okay, so let's talk about the story you're talking about.
I don't know. Yeah, this little 8-pound hot dog, wiener dog, it was ridiculous. It could run around all day, come back and want to play again. And it used to like run out of the house and get away, and then it would go on adventures. Like it would get attack a skunk and smell like a skunk, or it would go chase squirrels for